Is this really the best way to connect your keyboard to your stage box? Hey, hello people. This is Dan, and welcome to this episode where we're going to be talking about DIs. DI stands for direct injection or direct input, if you like. And it's a very common gadget on stage, and it's a very important one. So, what does a DI do, and why is it important? First of all, why do we need direct injection? Or why direct input? As you know, most of the equipment on stage, most of the instruments to be specific, output their signals using what is called a TS connector. Okay? Most of us are using a cable like this one, which is called a jack to jack or a TS to TS cable. As we know, most of the stage boxes only have one type of connection, and that is an XLR connection. If you go up to your normal stage box, maybe there might be a one-off out there that has some jack inputs there, but most of your stage boxes will have XLR inputs and XLR outputs. Now you see the challenge there, because most of your instruments use this, and this is normally what your stage box is expecting. And that's no problem for most of your inputs, which are microphones. But when it comes to instruments, it becomes a bit of a challenge. In my experience, what I've seen most people do is most people make such a thing. Have you ever seen something like that? It's familiar to most people. These are TS to male XLR cable. And most people, this is what they will use to connect from your keyboard to the stage box. But is this really the best way or the right way to connect your keyboard to your stage box? And I submit to you, this is not the best way. Why? The signal that your keyboard gives out is already amplified. There is already some level of amplification. And that is as compared to the kind of signal that you get from a corded dynamic mic. So the immediate problem you will find yourself in is that you will get a very hot signal. From the onset, even without turning up your gain knob, you'll already have a signal that is too hot, okay? And that becomes a problem, especially for those of us who are using older consoles which do not have that pad switch or attenuation switch, which helps you to cut down on the level of the signal, of the incoming signal. Okay, so you immediately have a problem because you're now not in control of your gain. Okay, so that is problem number one with this cable. Problem number two with this cable is that if there should be any problem with the instrument that you're using, be it a keyboard or whatever you have plugged in with this cable, should there be an electrical problem with that device, there is a high risk of damaging your console's input, the preamp, or even just the whole console. There is a high chance of destroying that equipment. So in comes the DI. That's where the DI comes in. And from what I've explained, you sort of get the idea of what it does. Number one, it's converting your high impedance signal into a low impedance signal, similar to the kind of signal you get from a dynamic mic. And in doing that, it's giving the stage box or the console at the back the kind of signal that it expects. And that now helps you so much because the level of signal you're getting at the console is uniform. The type of signal you're getting at the console is uniform across the board, whether it's keyboard, whether it's a guitar, whether it's a microphone, whether it's a corded or a wireless microphone. You're getting a very uniform kind of signal by making sure that you use a DI. The second advantage of using a DI is, as I've hinted before, is protection. How does a DI achieve that? A DI is not simply a gadget that attenuates your signal. It's also the kind of gadget we call an isolator. What that means is that it isolates circuit of the incoming signal, say from a keyboard, from the circuit of the outgoing signal, the one going to your stage box or to your mixer. It makes sure that, electrically speaking, there is no direct connection between these two circuits. The incoming signal, sorry, I'm holding this the wrong way. The incoming signal and the one going out to your console, they are separate. How does it achieve that? It achieves that by the use of a transformer. In fact, like this one, you'll see the diagram drawn here explaining very well how the circuit works. You see, the same way a transformer works, the input stage and the output stage, we call it, is it the primary and the secondary? There is no direct connection between the two stages. What happens is the primary coil induces an electric current on the secondary coil with no contact. So if there should be any electrical fault at this stage of input, if your keyboard should develop, God forbid, some funny electrical issue, that electrical issue cannot be translated to your mixer. So your mixer in that regard is safe. And that brings me to the third reason why you should be using a DI. The third reason is that by the virtue of isolating the two circuits, it also removes some of the issues you might find on this side, issues like buzzes and funny noises that might find their way into this part of the circuit, the input. Maybe you have a faulty cable, or maybe your keyboard, your instrument has faulty grounding and it produces a bad humming noise in its output signal. That humming noise is not translated to the output of the DI by reason of that transformer in here. And another bonus reason why you should be using a DI is that it converts for you an unbalanced signal to a balanced signal, which is the kind of signal that is expected by your stage box or by your console. And in the next video that we'll do, we'll talk about why it's important to have a balanced signal when you're doing audio. And there you have it, people. The 4 reasons why you should be using a DI, and I guess the 4 reasons why you should not be using this guy right here. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this content, if it has been of any benefit to you, I would request you to like and to share. And if you like this kind of content, go ahead and hit subscribe and the notification bell so that you can be notified in future whenever I put out a video. Thank you so much. God bless you. Continue serving God with your talents. Ciao.